Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we will be building the newest character in Genshin Impact, and obviously that character is Lauma. Now, my decision to get her was very spontaneous, so I had to pretty much make use of everything that I already had on my account in terms of artifacts, but we're gonna get to that a little bit later. And now let's just get on with this video. Obviously, we are starting off with a level 1 Lauma, no weapon, and the artifact set that we are going to be using is Deepwood Memories. But as you could see, I did not have a lot of artifacts from that set. I only had 19 artifacts altogether from that set, which is absolutely crazy. And I had this like whole idea of farming that artifact set because I also needed it for Alhaitham, and I have a video series on my channel where I farm artifacts, where I farm artifacts for like a week or 2 weeks straight and see what I get, and I really wanted to do that. But obviously, a whole like two new artifact sets came out, so I had to put that video like reschedule it like all the way to the back. I do not know when I will record that video, to be honest. But nevertheless, it's fine. I just decided that I'm gonna strong box most of the artifacts for her and maybe get something better for Alhaitham as well, because I remember that I really wanted him on my account because I thought that he was like so hot, and I got him. And then like he has a pretty decent build, but in my opinion it could be way better. So obviously getting Lauma was also an excuse to get some better artifacts for him as well, if you get what I'm trying to say. And I do have to say that we got pretty good pieces from the artifact strong box. I honestly thought that, my artifact luck in this would not be really great since I'm quite lucky on character banners. So I was a little scared. But I got some pretty good pieces. As you can see, this piece right here, it turned out pretty good. It rolled pretty nicely, in my opinion, at least. Obviously I was building Lauma pretty much right, like I don't want to say right as she came out, but when I was building her, a lot of the info about her artifact sets and her substats were not available. Like you could see that like crit damage or crit rate is not a highlighted substat for her. On top of that, her whole talent recommendation situation was also messed up because it showed that her ult is more important than her elemental skill. It was a whole thing, okay? It was a whole thing. And one thing that you might have noticed just a second ago is how I put her on a crit rate circlet. And the thing with that is I do not have an elemental mastery circlet for her from that set. Obviously we are still kind of in the early phases of building her. As you can see right here, I am desperately farming some XP books for her in order to level her up, and trust me, we are going to be doing that plenty more times during this video. We also had a Mora shortage. It was a whole thing, okay? We were constantly running out of something. But I'm gonna try to not complain about that, okay? So like I said, I wanted to make use of some artifacts that I already had on my account and the ones that I got from the artifact strong box. And I do have to say that I was kind of lucky when it came to the artifact strong box because we did actually get some good pieces. The problem is we did not get the proper circlet for her, so we are like 187. I think that those are the stats when you level up like sands, goblets, and circlets with elemental mastery to the max level. So we are kind of behind when it comes to elemental mastery, but I do not think that it's like the end of the world, and I genuinely think that Obviously it does make a difference, but since she is a character that kind of scales off of elemental mastery and she like really needs it, but we still, you're gonna see how much elemental mastery we have in the end. In my opinion, it's enough. um but obviously I'm not a guide maker. I'm not I'm not like very knowledgeable when it comes to building characters, but I also don't care to be knowledgeable, so it's like, you know. Also, if the clips right in front of your eyes seem a little chaotic, it's because they are. Because I was doing a lot of back and forth while recording this video. For an example, I couldn't do something, so I instantly switched up to another thing, and then I was able to do the first thing. So I totally left the second, like the second thing. It was just hectic. Okay, it was just hectic, but that's the way that I record videos, and I could kind of, put everything into separate piles and like organize it and everything, but I kind of don't want to do that because I want to keep the videos like more authentic and chaotic, because it's kind of fun sometimes. um Also, I'm a little bit sick right now, so if my voice sounds a little bit different, then that's literally why. My nose is like clogged. I've been coughing so bad that it's actually insane. I don't not even know when like I got sick. Yesterday I was already coughing, but I didn't feel sick, and today I feel sick and I'm coughing and my nose is clogged. It's a whole thing, okay? But I'm still in a good mood because I am officially a student. If you watched my last video, then you know that I was talking about, being accepted into university and all this stuff. Well, I am officially a student. I drove 2 hours by train to a whole different city to hand in my papers, and the trip was very nice. I bought myself some stuff in the city and the shops that we do not have in my city. um but I have to say that the day before I officially became a student was like really stressful because I couldn't print out one of the documents if my picture was not accepted. And I on the internet that I read that they do not accept those pictures on the weekend, so I was stressing because literally in a couple of hours I was supposed to wake up and go there. Um, but I went to the gym. I got all of that stress out of me. I felt so peaceful. I checked back in at like midnight and I see that my picture was accepted. So, it all worked out in the end, and I'm really happy about that because I was stressing so bad. I could feel the stress in my whole body, okay? But anyways, now let's get back onto the topic of this video. As you can see, I decided that I'm gonna craft a Lauma a nice goblet. Obviously I got all of these elixirs from exploring Notcry, so I had to make use of them. Now, intuitively I felt like putting energy recharge will get me crit rate as a substat as well, and somehow my intuition was right, like it always is. I decided to craft her goblet because, okay, in my head I was like, okay, I'm not gonna allow my character to have like two bad pieces, okay? Either the sands is bad or the goblet is bad. There's not both, okay? So I decided that I'm gonna craft her a new goblet. I decided that I'm gonna do it on the Deepwood Memories set, and I have to say the goblet turned out really well, except the last substat, but obviously it's not the end of the world. And getting her a goblet from that set meant that we could experiment a little bit with getting her a different and an off-piece set sands, okay? I needed to get her a better sand, so as you can see right here, I am experimenting a little bit with the artifacts that, have elemental mastery as the main stat. And these we had like three options, and I'm not gonna show you guys which option I chose for my Lauma. You're gonna see that a little bit later when I'm doing the whole character like build showcase, whatever. whatever. Yeah. So obviously, after a lot of fighting for her boss mats, it is finally time to level her up to level 90. Now, I did not have enough XP books. I tried to get more XP books in the teapot. I even did like a battle pass level and I got some XP books, but it still was not enough. So that's why I moved on to farming some of her talent materials, um, fighting this weekly boss. It's genuinely my favorite one, and I'm being sarcastic because I know you cannot tell by the sound of my voice that I am being sarcastic about this. I do not like fighting this weekly boss. I'm sorry, I just don't find it enjoyable. Is it a skill issue? I don't know, maybe. I don't care, to be honest. That's another thing. But yeah, as you could have seen, I decided that I'm gonna get the boss mat, and then I decided that I'm gonna go and farm some XP books instead of leveling up her talents. So it was a whole thing, okay? Um, but I probably did that because I did not have enough of the talent mats to do so. So that is exactly why we are farming her talent mats right now. Like I said, it's a little bit chaotic, but it's a whole process, and you know, we have a limited amount of resin, and that has kind of started to annoy me, but I think I'm going to talk about it a little bit more in my next video. For now, let's just get on with our llama build. Now, I know what a lot of you guys will say. You'll be like, oh my god, why does she only have 809 elemental mastery? What's going on? We're going to talk about that in a second, okay? Calm down. The stats: crit rate 46, crit damage 109, pretty good ratio. We're missing a little bit of the crit rate, but that's fine. And the 206 energy recharge. I think that those are pretty good stats. Now, this is the weapon is the reason why we only have 800 elemental mastery on her, because when her skill is, used, she gets an additional 200, so that brings the total to, like 1,000, which is a minimum for her. And then we also get additional if we have another Dendro character on the team, I think. So we're not completely screwed over, okay? As for the artifacts, you guys have seen me level up most of them. Her plume, I'd say, is pretty okay. If I could get a better one in the future, then I would be very happy about that. Sans reveal, I decided that I'm gonna put her on this Sans, okay? Hate me for it or not, I don't care. Listen, she does not need more energy recharge. That's one. Obviously, when you have an elemental mastery Sans, you cannot get elemental mastery as a substat. So I decided to give her a little bit more crit damage and crit rate. But I just don't know whether like this piece is better, the one on the gladiator one, or the one from the golden troop set. So that's that. You have literally seen me create this goblet, so there's not much to say about that. And like I said, for the circlet, I had a problem and I did not get an elemental mastery circlet, so I had to settle for this one. I still think like it's not that bad. But it makes us kind of lack in elemental mastery just a little bit. But it's not the end of the world, and Llama will still do her thing in the showcase, I promise. And for her showcase, in this video is going to be a little bit different, okay? Because I decided that I'm gonna defeat the local legend, okay, with her. And at this point, first of all, I did not know the attack patterns of this enemy, that's one. And two, I didn't have Lauma figured out all the way. And the highest amount of damage that Lauma did was not even in the Lunar Bloom font. It was in the Dendro one. And like in a lot of the smaller numbers, you'll see like 33k or whatever, but it's not in the Lunar Bloom thingy. That's one. And two, it was not a lot of damage, okay? In watching the footage back, I was like, I definitely did something wrong, okay? I definitely did something wrong. Let me do it again. So that's why you are seeing the footage from the menacing difficulty in the, 16 onslaught fighting the exact same guy, okay? Now, let me tell you, okay? I am pretty proud of the amount of damage that she did in this fight. As you could see in the Lunar Bloom font, 69k, pretty nice, but I knew that she could still do a little bit better. So, I kept on fighting. And also, another thing, keep in mind that I recorded this piece of footage on the menacing difficulty for one reason only. But before I talk about that reason, we're gonna wait for her to do a little bit more damage than she did before. 79k. Are you kidding me? It's almost 80k. I'm really proud of the way that I built my llama, okay? And okay, I know that the time had run out, but I wasn't fighting on the menacing difficulty to actually complete it. I was doing it to, show off my llama build, okay? And I think I did a pretty good job. I don't know, tell me what you guys think about it. I think that I did a pretty good job building llama. Obviously, if I am able to get her some better artifact pieces in the future, then I will do exactly that. For now, the biggest goal that I have for her is to, level up her talents to a decent level. Obviously, her elemental skill is still level 8, so I definitely want to level it up to level 9 at least, and 10 in the future. I honestly really enjoy playing with her. I didn't really use Dendro on my account, but I honestly think like that she changed it, because ever since I got her on my account and I started playing with her, I've been using like I started actually using Tainari, which is kind of crazy because I barely used him, and I also think that his build is not the best. So she has definitely changed my account and encouraged me to finally play with Dendro and use Dendro reactions and all this other stuff. So I'm definitely happy about the fact that I got her on my account, and I think that I did a pretty nice job with building her as well. And let me know what you guys think about the way that I built her. And I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, you can always leave a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and see you next time.